So where you have a spectrum of people who kill people with disabilities or, try to bring integration, I'm very happy to hear that with the Parliament over here, with the help of your foundation, the Guardian of the Disabled and other organizations helping you, I honestly believe that this is a fantastic, fantastic time to keep that momentum going. And I encourage you to use my life and any resources and any connections that we have, Yvette and I, to further prolong and progress in this awareness and strategy in bringing acceptance. And people say, well, Nick, what will it take for a big change? When you talk about a movement of something of such a size, it takes a very long time. You can't just give people wheelchairs. We go around places and by the wonderful power of God, we were able to go and give 200 wheelchairs with our friends to Egypt. But we also know that just giving wheelchairs to people with special needs is not going to change everything. There are some people who do not know this, that even when you give someone a wheelchair, that if that wheelchair is not properly fitted to the handicapped person, it is very easy to get sores and infections on the bodies, and people actually die sooner because they have a wheelchair, because they do not know about the infections. So it's not just about giving people wheelchairs. For a government to move forward in changing policies and bringing awareness is a great step. Bringing wheelchairs alone will not change everything. Bringing policies and law in the government alone will not change everything. Bringing ramps and accessibility to a city will not bring everything. We also know that money cannot bring everything. What is it? It is a collective voice to move one step at a time. Meaning this, not just speaking to parents and telling them not to be ashamed of the children who have disabilities. It goes more than that. It's even speaking to the people who are in wheelchairs themselves, so that they obviously don't look down at themselves, and obviously bringing up opportunities of employment and acceptance on a level of equality. These are big things. These take years and years and years, and I want you, Kuwait, to consider me not as just as a speaker that just comes in and makes people feel good and leaves. That's not why I'm here. I am here to tell you that whatever we can do, as much as and as best as I can, with the 27,000 invitations that I have for me to speak, with the 200 invitations I receive every week for me to speak, I want you to consider me as a friend of Kuwait, and Madam Yvette up the front as a friend of Kuwait, that we can continue to help you in any situation that we can, with friends who can provide curriculum, who can also provide workshops and training. And this is the exciting thing. We have really been asked, not just by some American universities, but even in Egypt, they are adopting a lot of these curriculum activities. And we also have partners who have family retreats for families with special needs, and helping the family and giving them as much support as possible. So that's what I was going to say in a nutshell. I was asked to come here to talk about my experiences in integration into society. And in my own life, I want to encourage you that I believe that fear is the biggest disability of all. I believe that the fear of trying to do something new, I am so proud of not just you all being here, but there is a power in trying something new. You do not know what you can achieve until you try it. I did not know that I could type 43 words a minute on a normal computer until I tried. I didn't know that I could swim until I tried. I actually have been given the opportunity to go to university, and how I did that actually the government of Australia at that time did not support me with physical assistance for my university. In fact, it took a non-profit organization called Blue Nurses, that it was a non-profit, private-funded organization that sends nurses in to help feeding and toileting and helping with physical needs for people who are going to university. The Australian government did supply teacher aides and assistants to come when I was in elementary school and high school. I had a teacher aide with me in the classroom with everybody else, and so this person assisted me when I couldn't do something like cutting some paper. That teacher aide was employed by the government to help me to do the task that everybody else was doing. But I'm so thankful for my parents, and a lot of people ask me, well, Nick, what was the best thing that your parents did? I believe that the big hurdles that I had in my life was how everybody saw me. When I was rejected, when I was teased as a child, I always had to remember that I was, my mum and dad would always say, Nick, just do your best and God will do the rest. And don't worry about what other people say, and that's good to have encouragement, but when you have people, teasing you, they say, well, just ignore them, just ignore them. It's very, very difficult to ignore people when they continue to come and come and come and put you down and down and down. It's very easy to go into a spiral of depression and even thoughts of suicide when you do not know why maybe you have your disability, or maybe why your child was born with a disability or had an accident or something like that. It takes courage to overcome fear. You need courage to keep on going in life. And encouragement will give you courage, and discouragement will take away your courage. But I want you to know that courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is even though when you have fear, you keep on going. My parents had many fears about my life. They had no idea what kind of life I was going to live. They had no other people who could really help them because they've never heard of anybody being born without arms and legs. But, my parents are my heroes, and the best thing that they did for me is to continue to plant seeds of encouragement. I love the parable where it says where a farmer was sowing seed, and as he scattered the seed, some seed fell on the hard ground, and it never came to anything. Some seed actually were picked up by birds, and that seed never developed any fruit or trees. Some seed actually fell into shallow soil, but because the soil was shallow, it didn't take root and it withers away. But there are some seeds that even grow and then are choked on thorns. And you know what? I believe that in my life, there were seeds that my parents were planting. Nick, you're okay. Don't worry about what the world says. They always say, Nick, when the world says you're not good enough, get a second opinion. And so that was the wonderful thing, to know that, that there is a truth. And when the lies come, when the world says you're not good enough, no, you can say, you know what? My value is not determined on how capable I am. My value is not determined on my bank account. My value is not determined on how many good grades I get at school. My value is me being me. Me fulfilling the purpose that I have for my life, and my purpose is different than yours, and there is not another me out there, and that's the value. We all have something to fulfill in life,